Alamo Massacre, the Texas Revolution. When we look back at the events of March 1836, we see more than a battle. We see a story that has been shaped by memory. It begins here, with the Alamo itself, an old Spanish mansion in San Antonio. In this early painting, we can see the sprawling compound with its iconic chapel and low walls. It was this position that a small determined group of Texan volunteers chose to defend this mansion and this fort, despite being vastly outnumbered and operating far from any support. This is the Alamo Mansion, as you can see. That determination was captured by the commander, Lieutenant Colonel William Barrett Travis. In this picture, we can see his portrait alongside his famous letter. Look closely at the handwriting and the powerful final words, victory or death. This letter showed the determination of his defense of the Alamo. This was more than a request for help. It was a public declaration of principle. By vowing to hold the Alamo, Travis transformed the mansion into a symbol of the revolutionary cause. The Alamo Siege. The scale of the challenge they faced is starkly illustrated in this picture. Here we see the Mexican army under General Santa Anna completely encircling the compound. The defenders are a small force trapped inside the building, facing thousands of professional soldiers with artillery. The visual imbalance makes the eventual outcome seem almost inevitable. It's like they can't win, it's impossible to win, highlighting the weight of the Texan stand. Enduring the siege. For 13 days, the defenders endured a relentless siege. As you can see in the pictures, invaders tried to climb over walls to get into the mansion and attack the Alamo. The defenders endured a relentless siege, a period captured in this dramatic painting. Cannonballs slammed into the walls, scattering debris and defenders. Smoke and chaos also filled the air. For this mission, supplies dwindled and hope for reinforcements faded. But as you can see in the picture, the Texan defenders never gave up, and their determination to defend this fort can be seen. The siege culminated in this brutal scene, the final assault, at the dawn on March 6th. In this famous painting, Mexican soldiers pour over the walls in overwhelming numbers. In the foreground, the last of the defenders make their desperate stand in the mission's courtyard and corridors. The image is one of utter chaos and close quarters combat. Everyone is fighting for their lives, and the Texans couldn't defend the Alamo. The aftermath of the siege. It was a devastation. In this image showing the ruins of the Alamo, all the defenders were killed, yet this very defeat so hauntingly captured in this picture where nothing of the siege remains, it was a loss, but for the Texan cause, it became a powerful symbol. That symbol of the defense on the Alamo was immediately put to use. This historical banner bears the powerful phrase that became a rallying cry, "Remember the Alamo," as you can see in this propaganda poster. The sacrifice made within the walls of the Alamo was no longer a defeat to the Texan people. It was a cry that spurred the Texan army to victory at the Battle of San Jacinto, ultimately securing their independence. Over the decades, the story ended popular culture. As we see in this collage of film posters and postcards, the Alamo became a romantic icon. This simplification is why modern historians now take a more critical view. The Alamo doesn't show a single hero, but highlights key figures like Tejano defender Juan Seguin, who was often omitted from the traditional narrative. They also ask crucial questions. Who exactly fought? What were their motives? How much of the story is a myth? The Alamo is now a site of historical contestation. As you can see in this portrait of Juan Senguin, he was a Texan defender of the Alamo. Now, the Alamo is now a site of historical contestation. The Alamo Plaza represents the literary value of the defense.